to face with evil, to confront your worst nightmare. When a killer comes calling, there's often no escape.
A man who can kill is evil beyond belief.
To truly encounter evil is a rarity most will never experience.
Serial killers scared us for many years, but there are some most brutal, heartless killers who killed victims in unbelievable ways. Here are the top 15-word derail killers in history who degrade humanity. 15. Robert Berdella. Meet this Kansas City butcher, Robert Berdella, who was a notorious American serial killer. This merciless murder killed 6 innocent humans between 1984 to 1987. He killed them with different brutal torture methods. He targeted Caucasian men who were working as sex workers. He called them into his home, drugged these guys, and restrained them to the bed with Pano tires for a long time. He started to torture them in different ways, like giving them electric shocks, beating them with different tools, and pot window caulk to their ears and eyes. After killing them, this killer leaves their dead bodies inside the trash.
You're drawn to the gory.
14. Delphine LaLaurie. This was another American serial killer who belonged to an Irish family. She got married to Leonard Lewis in 1825. God blessed her with 2 daughters, but between 1831 to 1834, this lady started to torture enslaved people. Almost 12 enslaved people killed her. The story takes turns when her home gets fired, and when authorities come there, they find 7 servants mutilated in the quarters. Her cruel story is in front of everyone. Now her resistance has become a tourist place.
Traten, wurden sie mit einer Szene konfrontiert, die sie nie vergessen würden. Die Wohnung wurde schnell zum Tatort. Die Ermittlungen enthüllten eine grausame Wahrheit.
13. Fritz Honka. The German serial killer was operated in the early 1970s. He killed 4 women who were working as sex workers. He killed the ladies between 1970 to 1975. After brutally killing them, he dumps them in his apartment. He targeted the women who refused to spend the night with him, as he already had a failed marriage history. His all marriages failed due to his heavy drug consumption and aggressive wives, so he did not tolerate their rejection. Police arrested the killer and he confessed his murders.
The shoemaker Samuel Hobley and his wife Sarah, Amelia was the youngest of 5 children. She was born and raised in Pyle Marsh, just east of Bristol in England. Coming from a respectable family, Amelia was privileged enough to learn how to read and write, and soon enough developed a passion for literature.
12. Amelia Dyer, the British killer who was most notorious in history. She was a kid farmer. She adopted unwanted babies for money and promised to take care of them. But the story was totally different. She mistreated these kids. Even she killed a nurse named Dyer. She won't care about these adopted children and lets them die by neglecting them. She gave the opium-laced syrup to quiet them. After that, she adopted different methods. When authorities reached her residence, they smelled too bad, but there was no dead body. During the investigation, she accepts Dyer murder. However, according to authorities, she killed 200 to 400 children. Randy Kraft. This man was known as the scorecard murderer, and he was one of the most dangerous killers in history. He targeted sex workers as he picked them up from gay bars and brutally killed them. His crimes took place from the 1970s to the 1980s in California. 3 dead bodies were found near the highway. According to authorities, 3 men were killed by 1 killer. Later, Randy was arrested by police, and during the investigation, he told the police he took a sex worker from a gay bar to his home, drugged them, and took pornographic photos of victims. Well, his scorecard is listed with his victim by their odds nicknames. Well, he was charged with 16 murderers. Now he has been sentenced to death row. 10. Edmund Kemper. This American merciless killer killed 10 people. When he was younger, he killed both of his grandparents. After that, when he becomes 21, he started grabbing female hitchhikers in his car. After that, he started killing ladies with different tools. Even he did not take pity on his real mother and killed her with a hammer. After that, he hid his mother's body parts. He killed his mother and grandparents because he had a disturbing relationship with them. He was charged with 8 counts of first degree. During the investigation, he said that he killed 8 people. 9. Ted Bundy, a renowned brutal American killer who killed 30 people in the 1970s. This heartless evil kidnapped many women and killed them. As Ted was a charming person, that's why women were immediately attracted to him. He took advantage and gained their trust. After them, he knew the ladies out and sexually assaulted them. Before killing them, this criminal had sex with them and then killed them mercilessly. Ted was arrested in 1975. He was charged with kidnapping, raping, and also killing. Well, he received 3 death sentences for his crimes. He was executed in prison on 4th of January 1989. 8. Andre Chikatilo. Andre is also one of the most notorious killers in history. He killed almost 50 women and children. He kidnapped them, sexually assaulted them, and then killed them. He targeted homeless children and adult runaways and took them somewhere else where he fulfilled his sexual pleasures, and after that he killed them. He also took prostitutes and killed them after having sex with them. In 1992, he confessed to 52 murders. 7. Lawrence Bittaker, Roy Norris. This man is also known as a toolbox killer. He is also one of the most dangerous killers in America. He kidnapped young girls, raped them, tortured them, and finally brutally killed them. He used different instruments to kill his victims. He committed crimes and tortured them to seek his pleasure. Hedegert, 12 to 18 years young girls. She received 5 deaths for kidnapping, sexually abusing, torturing the victims, and also killing them on 22nd March 1981. 6. Richard Cottingham. This man is also known as Torso Killer. He operated in New Jersey and New York between 1967 to 1980. He was called a torso killer because dismembered the victims and left just the torso behind. His most creepy crimes were the dismembering of 2 prostitutes and taking their hands and heads with him. This heartless criminal killed 85 to 100 people. During the investigation, he just confessed to only 8 murders. He told the authorities that he got the victims from bars, and after that took them somewhere and drugged them. He tortures the victims and removes their hands and heads. 5. Dennis Nilsen. This Scottish serial killer took the lives of 12 men and young boys between 1978 and 1983 in London. But he just confessed to 6 murders in court. Dennis told the authorities to bathe and dress the bodies of victims and keep them for an extended time. He burns them in a bonfire and dumps them into the toilet. He was received life imprisonment on 4 November 1983. He died on 12th of May 2018 at the hospital in New York. 4. Jeffrey Dahmer. The world knows him as a Milwaukee monster. Jeffrey was an American brutal serial killer. He killed 17 men between 1978 to 1991. His crimes were too horrific because of necrophilic cannibalism and the permanent preservation of his victim's body. He targets his victim and drugs them. He killed them mercilessly and cut his victim's body into many pieces. After that, he built acids and boiled these parts. After that, he dumps them into the back garden of his home. When Dahmer was a kid, he had a fascination for deceased beasts. Ash saw his father removing the animal's bones. This suspense leads him to remove bones. Well, he was sentenced to 15 terms of his life. 3. David Parker Ray. This toy box killer killed almost 60 women. He kidnapped, tortured, and sexually assaulted his victims. Well, he made a mobile chamber as a semi-trailer in which he made boxes and named his toy box that was soundproof. He kidnapped women, kept them for a few weeks, and subjected them to different sexual abuse with tools like whips, chains, clamps, surgical blades, and also pulley straps. He also made an electrical generator to give shocks to the victims. Well received a 224-year sentence, but he died due to a heart attack. 2. Luis Garavito. History called him Beast or Goofy. Who is a Colombian serial killer? He killed 100 to 400 boys. He confessed to sexually assaulting, torturing, mutilating, and also murdering a lot of innocent people. He targeted 6 to 16-year-old boys. Albert Fish. This criminal had a past, as his father died when he was 5 and his mother left him. At young, he started work as a sex worker in New York. After that, he started sexually assaulting and torturing boys. He kidnapped them and tortured them after playing sexual acts with his victims. Well, these crime stories remind us of the dark chapter of world history where humans act like wild beasts. We hope you like this video. Thanks for watching. We will catch you soon with a new, interesting topic.